How are you?
I'm good. Tired. Good.
Yeah. So, you register for Kona yet?
Kona.
Yeah, in Hawaii, the ultra marathon,
Oh no.
or no, no, not ultra marathon, the triathlon. What is it in Kona?
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about, but uh, the Lava Man triathlon.
It's the Ironman thingy.
Yeah. No, I haven't done that.
Oh, I'm surprised. What's going on? How you didn't register?
Wow. Do you know you have fun? There's fundraising commitments for that. Interesting.
I didn't know. I just thought that like you qualify and then like you just fly over there.
No, I still have to do a full marathon and the little more than half marathon that I'll do tomorrow. So that's coming tomorrow. So that's good. Looking forward to doing it finally.
Mm, I'm getting I'm getting a lot of people acknowledging that quote unquote slimmed down. So it's kind of making me nervous because now I'm in my head like, is it really me modifying my morning ritual or am I sick and there's something going on with me?
Oh yeah, yeah, it could be either.
Uh,
Really, you secretly got cancer and you're just losing weight.
ah, uh, Unfortunately, a lady in my building just died from cancer. So, uh,
Yeah,
duh, duh, duh.
that's gonna get us one way or the other.
She's the same age.
Oof.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
Uh, I started a new role um, at a new organization, so it should be interesting.
Oh boy, what are you doing this time?
It's an architect role, so architect means so many
Mobile or
things.
Azure or general or
Uh, this isn't mobile. This is so the role is like domain architect,
no?
but
Okay.
based on the job description, it's a lot of it is like cloud. So remember my goal and my declaration of my career progression.
Yeah,
Check.
there
So
you go. Now you gotta set your new one.
uh
CTO Scott Nimrod.
yeah,
There you go.
check.
Or do you need to be an enterprise architect first?
So you check your private chat.
Oh no. Ooh, nice.
Check. Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's what I. It's one of the things I set out for when I decided to kill two birds with one stone with this passion project and Azure onboarding, and so I think it kind of worked out. We'll see.
Cool. Good organization.
The interview impressed me. Um, it did because like I went ahead and controlled as much of the interview as possible by like just as soon as they asked me, tell me about yourself, I use that as all right, I'm about to like dictate the rest of this interview. I'm about to do a lot of talking and show so that there's limited time for them to for me to expose like my growth opportunities, right? And I just spend the majority of the time just exposing like my skill set,
Hmm.
kind of in a sales marketing type of way. And so some of the things that I was going over, um, one of them had called me out on. So he's like, okay, so apparently you're a student of, eye design. And I'm like, how did you know that? And he's like, yeah, because I read the same book you read. And I'm like, oh, shoot. So most of the stuff that I consume, I keep it on the hush hush and I just practice it. Um, even like professionally on jobs. And
Hmm.
this is like the first time that someone has actually like read the same or consumed the same content that I've consumed and was able to relate to it. Unfortunately, then the interview started dwelling around the that I design philosophy, and I mean I was able to like hold up, but I just wasn't prepared. I just wasn't prepared for someone to actually to 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 seek the same type of information that I seek. It kind of caught me off guard. So
Hmm. And that's that writing. Is that the writing software book? Or
yeah, yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah. Javal Lowy,
yeah.
their methodology for um, architecting systems.
Hmm. Maybe that's one I'll have to read.
I highly recommend it. I mean, there's a couple books that have changed my career progression.
Hmm.
That's one of them. Um, the other one, which the other one for like UI, even though it's very like application or framework specific, it really did change my career progression. Was the Microsoft Patterns and Practices Prism 4.0. That was the first time that I actually seen any published book on engineering user interfaces.
Hmm.
Um, so that one changed my career. And if there's another book that changed my career, it would probably the DevOps Handbook, that one too. So those are three that literally changed my progression and
Hmm.
and how I view and do work. But rarely are organizations and the books that are career changing are aligned, right? So
Yeah. Yeah. I can't say that I've had a book totally change me in terms of career progression or anything like that. I
you
think
know,
I think like Code Complete did a pretty good job of just
Steve
getting my
McConnell.
getting my head around just quality and cohesion and coupling and just just various ways to just like do disciplined better software. But um and then uh one snippet from, is it the sorry, the clean coder, which is the QA should find nothing. I think was that exact, like, I don't know if I'm paraphrasing or whatever, but that exact snippet from that book really stuck with me.
Hold on,
So
what snippet? What did it say?
a clean coder.
I mean, I know Clean Coder. That's Robert C.
Yeah,
Martin, right? But
yeah, Uncle Bob. Yeah.
you said that snippet. There's a specific snippet in the book that
Yeah.
really like
Um,
I would say his talk on clean architecture changed the way that I build solutions. Well, so within Solution Explorer, it contributed to. I mean, it directly influenced how I structure my files. within Solution Explorer that I think most people don't like.
And what was that?
Uncle,
Sorry, I'm
so
looking at the trying to find that snippet. So
yeah, so Uncle Bob gave a talk on clean architecture, and like basically when you look at your Solution Explorer within Visual Studio,
hmm
that should scream what the architecture of your application is, and your architecture isn't views, view models, models, services, but instead it's um, maybe features of that functional areas of that application.
okay,
So, like, I've adopted that practice. It drives other people crazy because they don't like the proliferation of projects. I mean, but you don't have to use projects. You can use folders, but it's just
folders. Yeah,
extremely to mainstream. It's extremely counterintuitive, which is weird because you know exactly what the application is, and if there's a specific feature that you need to visit, it's easier to figure out where that's at so you can address it. But mainstream, they're just so used to views, controllers, models, like they kind of don't want to accept any other way,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Views, controllers, models, even
It doesn't tell
yeah.
you anything about what the application actually does, but that's what they prefer.
Here's your domain folder, your application folder. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've is it uh code opinion guy? Gosh, I'm blanking. Derek Martin. He talks a lot about that. I think Jimmy Bogard might too, about feature feature folders and organizing things around features instead of organizing them by around uh, like structural architectural pieces. Um, but I think I don't know if this is this might be the quote. To your knowledge, QA should find nothing. Do not rely on them. Don't rely on the QA to do testing for you. Whenever a bug passes through, figure out why and do something to prevent it from happening again. Yeah, it's just the mindset of that quality is the
Oh,
developer's responsibility, and
software
um,
craftsmanship.
yeah, yeah, and it's not like don't let the QA, or like your goal should be to not let them find anything. They're going to, because that's what because you're like a fallible human, but
Yeah,
um,
I think we discussed this last
yeah,
Friday where we had like differing like opinions. Like I see that side of it. It's it's just because remember like last Friday I was like, yeah, I get it, but how much time is a developer supposed to dedicate towards like exploratory testing, seeking edge case scenarios, and take their hourly rate versus a manual tester's hourly rate? And is it really a good return on investment for the business, for the developer to be using that time exploring edge cases manually? Like, and I don't, based on the money that's on the table, I don't think the developer should be going through that type of extensive testing if there's a QA resource that has that responsibility. But I think I don't know, I think we went back and forth for like 10 minutes on that topic.
yeah, yeah. No need to rehash it,
Uh,
but yeah, I don't know other than that. And and is there anything else that's really stuck with me?
with those books though, I kind of compare it to like, and this is probably a poor choice of words, but like, I mean, do people ever like pick up the Bible or pick up the Quran and they just like Revelation and they get converted? or is it almost always like a life altering like event, like they're going to prison, or they've been diagnosed with something, or they survived a traumatic event, and then it's like that's the question. Because for me, like reading these books that quote unquote like uh, altered my career progression, it was me reading it. It wasn't a life altering event. It was reading a passage in any of those books or a series of passages that's like, whoa, I never considered that, right? But do people really get the same thing from like the Bible or the Quran or any other type of like religious manuscript, and they just convert? I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
Uh,
I mean, maybe, but I don't know.
I mean, I was listening to RZA on Lex Friedman's podcast a couple of days ago, and he was saying when he read the Quran, he was convinced, and he said that's his favorite book of like that's his favorite book. Like now, it makes me want to read it, which I'll probably won't understand anything. So, anyways, I think I mean both both practices are, I think, extremely dogmatic, right? Between religion and software development, like it's probably everything. It's probably in healthcare too. Like people just do things without really thinking about the why they're doing it. And so there's an author. His name is Nat Pierce. I got a good memory, man. And Nat Pierce, he wrote a book on, and it's related to software, but it's related to why certain things are the way they are. So I think like one of the examples were, and I could be wrong because I didn't actually read the book. I just, when I was in London, he had gave a talk, and I was like, his talk was just different from everybody else's talks because his talk had nothing to do with vendor technologies at all. It had everything to do with metaphors. And so I think one of the things he was talking about is like the width of a railroad track or whatever.
Yep.
I might be confusing him with somebody else. Um, and just why we or society have certain standards that are really outdated and don't really meet with the times, but we stick with it, but we never ever question why we do it. And he came out with a whole bunch of metaphors that we continue to perform just because that's the way it's always been done, and it's just interesting. So I think that draws parallels to religion. So
Yeah. Yeah. There was what was it? We had a thing at work, not my work right now, but one another work where it was like to try to like convince people that change is good, you know, and in one of the stories they were like, or one of the metaphors they did was, um, just imagine that your parents are making a pot roast and they cut the ends off the pot roast and they and before they cook it and you ask them, well, why do you cut the ends off the pot roast? And they go, well, that's the way we've always done it. Um, and then they follow the chain and it's like, well, that's the way my parents did it. That's the way we've always done it. And so they went and asked their grandparents, why did you do that? Well, that's the way we did it, and that's the way we've always done it. And so they go to the frail, you know, dying grandma, great grandma, and ask, why did you do it this way? And they go, well, because my pan was just too small to fit the roast, so it cut the ends off. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with the ends. There's no, you know, whatever. But the thing that bothered me about that story is that it just speaks to the idea that, you know, you're not questioning why you do something and experimenting, but it doesn't actually in any way suggest that or tackle the idea that perhaps cutting the ends off the roast has some actual benefit that you know that they've unlocked that nobody else knows about. You know, And so change can be good, but change without critical thought around why you're changing, like change isn't good by itself. You know what I mean? You can change for the worst.
Mm-hmm.
It bothers me when people like, yeah. Anyways, what are we looking at? Price.
No, that was the speaker. But well, that's his website. I'm not sure if he has his book reference. I'm sure he would. I just don't know where it's at. But anyways, yeah, I think that's one of our biggest flaws as human beings. We do things because that's the way it's always been done, but we never examine, or rarely do we examine why we've done it.
Yeah, but at the same time, we have to do a little bit of that, because if we question everything we're doing, um, it's overwhelming. There's
Is it?
yeah. I mean, you can question like literally like everything. I mean, it's just like you get habits and practices and patterns that you pick up are basically like scripts you don't have to think about anymore. They just run automatically. If you had to consciously question and think about everything you're doing,
Hey,
it'd
gambler.
be overwhelming.
I don't think so. I mean, I understand why you would say that. I'm just not sure. Like, if you specialize in it, I guess the question is, at what level of abstraction is suffice or satisfactory? You know, as a software developer building a software application, at what level of abstraction is it really not in your interest to know based on time constraints, right? Is it understanding the UI? Oh, that's probably why you're employed. Is it understanding the communication protocol, like HTTP or stuff like that? One can argue that it's probably beneficial for you to understand the HTTP protocol. Okay, is it the level of assembly language? Should you really know about the, what is it, 16 registers, and what some of those registers are allocated for versus the other ones? Is it at the binary level, ones and zeros? Like so I can understand that argument, but we don't really write code that relates to the registers within like assembly language. And we usually, I would think that if we're using like HTTP, there's already like some library that's going to abstract away the details, and we just say send this information to this address. I would think so. Like that stuff, like it's abstracted away. We don't have to deal with it. But things that we do deal with is occasionally we start a greenfield project and we still create folders the same way, and we don't even question why it takes us so long to try to find the area of code where we need to make an update. Like we create views and we'll throw like 20 different UI files in that one view folder, and don't think twice about how can we optimize our our navigation methodology, so that we can be faster at identifying areas that we need to address. We don't think about it. So I don't know.
Yeah, but you know, too, you could experimentation around that could lead to something worse. The other bit is that we haven't thought of, you know, around that too is there's a whole another sect of people that says, why don't you just use the search solution search find? Like,
Yeah, control comma
if you can,
within Visual Studio.
if you can do that, that's way better than having to think about, these organizational bits. Although putting them in folders where they're specific to separating architecture gives you a little bit more clarity around how the app should be separated.
Well,
You're communicating two different things. I mean,
if you do control comma within Visual Studio, that's assuming that you know the name of the file that you're looking for, right? If you're a junior developer brand new to a project, or if you're just brand new to the project period, you don't know the names of the files. All you see is views, models, services.
yeah.
And if it's a large application, you're just going to be sifting and sifting and sifting. So I don't know. I'm just disappointed in what mainstream adopts as a good practice. I hate the term good practice. It's not. It's just a mainstream practice.
maybe that's why. That's probably the exact sentiment I was getting at with unit testing, at a certain level. Like, I don't know that there's, and I've looked a bit, but I haven't really found any hard evidence that the value is there. A lot of anecdotal, but hard evidence.
Well, I mean, there's different views, right?
Yeah.
If I'm new to a project and I want to know how a component works, the very first thing that I would like to do is see the unit tests that revolve around that particular component, so I could get a better understanding of what the setup is, what does it mean to test it, and what does verification really feel like on that component through that test.
Yeah, see, I don't
Of course, that's not going to be there.
Yeah.
People don't write tests unless they're forced to.
Yeah, but I mean, but the sentiment that they're super valuable. Like, I don't tend to go look for tests even if they do exist. I look at the code, and I interpret it. It's the code should kind of speak for itself, I would hope.
In what language?
In what language?
Like you say, the code should speak for itself. And like for me, it should, only because like now I have like this functional paradigm. So I'm looking at the signature, and I would like to default that the function signature and maybe the method signature the code does exactly what the signature says and nothing more, right? But that's not the case.
Yeah, but I can also look at a method, and you should be able to look at a method too and know, oh, it's also doing this other thing that I wouldn't expect it to be doing. When you're consuming a library, they don't send the tests along with the library. They'll show you sample code, which is basically like a test, but you don't have that same luxury with those. So
yeah, that's a good point.
Unless it's open source, I guess occasionally, you might go in and try to find something in there, but rarely is it going to cover enough, of the edge cases that nobody tests.
I don't know. Like when you're looking at the code, it doesn't tell the whole story, especially if you got global state that's continuously being mutated outside the scope of the block that you're looking at.
Yeah.
So I just rather not.
Yeah, but anyways, that's beside the point. Is that you get into we get into like these cults around certain things because you have certain high level people that will come out anecdotally and talk about the value of it in a certain way, and then people take that as gospel, and it's no longer becomes optional to have 100% code coverage. It's like you must have 100% code coverage. Okay, they'll all spend 5 hours writing tests to cover every exception path to make sure that every single little thing is covered. But but are they adding any value to the business doing that.
Yeah. Well, have you ever been in those environments?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
But
I'll just sprinkle attributes. What is it? It was like some debug attribute. Like, do not. It's some debug attribute you can sprinkle on top of your methods or classes where it gets ignored for code coverage.
oh yeah,
I'll just sprinkle that everywhere, like in my code behind files, etc.
or you just add a bunch of random lines so that your code coverage gets up to 80%. Like I'll
No,
add
but
code.
I mean,
Yeah.
but I will say that like people try to cheat for things that should be tested. Like I've done it before. Repeatedly. I mean, it happened like maybe 3 weeks ago. I would not accept this person's pull request. Right? And I'm like, this needs to have a backing test. He attempted to write a backing test, but he didn't know how to test it, so he tried to like write a test that really didn't do anything. And, like I refused, man. Like I was holding them to the fire. All right. Until he like acknowledged that he needed help with it, and then I like rewrote everything. So
Yeah.
how
I
do you
think
feel about
maybe
that?
about what?
Have you ever like received a pull request in which, based on a combination of your personal preference, um, you just decided to just rewrite it
Um,
like within half an hour?
I've had things come through before where maybe I'll like let them go in, but then I'll go and change it really quick and open a new PR to address
Okay.
issues with it. But um, I don't know if I've ever just pulled something down and just completely redid it for someone and then pushed it back up
Yeah.
to their branch. I mean, I've added to. I've like said no, I don't really want this to go through, but rarely is that over personal preference. Um, I don't know, man. I'm starting to question whether code reviews are worth it at all.
Are you
It's like,
code reviews or pull requests?
well, that's to me, and that's the same thing. The whole
Okay.
reason for a pull review is a is a code review. A pull request is a whatever. I can't get those things right this morning. But what I do think is valuable is actually reviewing the functionality and pulling that down and verifying that it did what it's supposed to do. Um, Started to do that a little bit more instead of just looking at the code going, oh yeah, there's nothing here that it looks like it probably should work, assuming that they verified that they did everything or that it should work the way it should work.
Yeah.
I'll actually start pulling it and running it.
And what about like personal like information? Like that still requires a code review, right? Unless the that code base is so like mature that security is actually built into the code base and it's not sprinkled after.
What do you mean personal information? Like,
So depending on the industry, you don't want to log personal like health information or any type of confidential information to a server that's not in the business of processing health records or any type of confidential information. And so a code review. Um, so if that system isn't architected appropriately and security is an afterthought that you retrofit in after every feature, then a code review is one of the things that you probably have to do with emphasis on if security isn't designed into the system originally. Not,
oh yeah,
not following.
yeah. No,
Okay.
no, no. I get what you're saying. Yeah, fair enough. Um, Again, everything's contextual, like, which is probably the main thing that I want to get at with anything is that unit tests can be super valuable in contexts. Are they always valuable? No. Are pull requests valuable in a lot of contexts? Yes. Are they always valuable? No. Are code reviews? Yes. Always? No. Like everything should be like a judgment call.
I think
Um,
okay.
but sorry, yeah, go ahead.
No. Finish your thought.
No, that was it. It's just everything should be a judgment call on given the nature of the problem you're tackling, the complexity of it, the go to market speed, um, and the like value of the product to your business line, everything, like the practices you follow should be toggled on and off like switches.
I agree.
Yeah. Well,
Unfortunately, we're not designed that way. As
yeah,
humans, like we want like a de facto standard
yeah.
that we
So
always use no matter what the context is.
so if we're writing a small little CRUD app to just put 2 bits of data in the database and get it back, we have 5 projects with unit tests and everything, when you can literally just see and just run it, and like, oh yeah, this writes to a database and reads it back. There's no logic here to test. Like, all you're doing is plugging 2 things together.
I mean, I will. So I, for the most part, I am anti pull requests because I feel like it just hinders iteration. I feel like it the consequence of that tool is it impedes progress and fast iteration, right? But I think it's great if you really want to like hold someone to the fire and expose growth opportunities, right? Like they can't. So like in this case, this shall be done right, and I'm not going to accept it in the code base until you cover these specific areas of concern, right? And so like it's weird. So when it's, I feel like it could be valuable if you have people that have a inclination to try to work around being compliant. I think it's absolutely great. And then the question is, well, why are there people on your team or within the organization that try to work around compliance with code complete requirements?
Hmm.
So that's the part.
I wonder if there's like a way where an organization could structure something as like a, instead of doing a pull request as like a, as the change is going and before it's all like looked at in QA or something, but something like an afterthought. Like you still do the pull request type thing, but it doesn't hinder your, but you can still like push it in. I don't know if that's making
Is,
sense at all, but like,
is it basically trunk based on the development branch and then like a pull request on the entire thing for a
no,
QA?
like you still have the changes, but it's more like a retroactive pull request. So like a developer can push in changes that may need to be different, but at least they're going to start getting feedback about the feature. And then like if somebody else comes along and says, oh, this should really be, here's a problem with this or whatever.
I think the challenge would be is it's still continuously integrating with other people's code or development within the same code base.
Yeah, I suppose. Hmm.
I mean, and that's one of the biggest I think challenges with pull requests is it's not continuously integrating. It's like I really don't like pull requests.
Well, no, that's the thing is that,
Unless I don't like the developer, then I like pull requests. Like that's the only
yeah,
reason why I like it.
yeah, it's like, how can you achieve both, the best of both of those worlds? What's a practice that you could follow that would achieve that, without creating 2 classifications of developer, where like these people have to do PRs and these ones don't. Um, which maybe that is just fine. Like maybe like you have to level up your, maybe there's like a gauntlet you have to go through, and if you get so many good PRs or whatever, then you've earned the trusted badge, and you can merge directly.
Honestly, I would be with that. Like I still think to this day there's a lot of I'm not sure what the correct word is. There's a lot of similarities between software development and video gaming, right? Like you've probably heard me on a couple times, whether it's within these mastermind sessions or on Twitter, say I just unlocked the achievement, right? And it's related to like software development. Like, I would be with that, man. Like, if you could demonstrate consistency in a certain practice, then a certain barrier no longer applies to you, right?
Yeah. But then
That,
if there's like bugs tied back to your change, like maybe that reduces your achievement level, and you can lose your privilege.
yeah, it'll be an interesting tool. I think it'll take a while to figure out what the right design would be.
Yeah, and how do you like measure it too? Like
And it'll be
if you
biased
had
too.
if you had bad requirements, and so it's a bug, but it's because it has nothing to do with the code you wrote, and it wouldn't have ever been caught in the pull request. It really needed to be caught in your like interactions with like the requirements and evaluation of what is trying to be changed in the state of the
It would
application.
very likely, if we're talking about a statically typed language, um, it would more than like it would probably need to incorporate the code analyzers. That's related.
Sorry, I hate
You're
code
not a
analysis.
fan of linters and all that other stuff.
Oh, okay. So linters I can get behind, or prettiers, or whatever. Yeah.
But code analyzers like maintainability index, if we're talking about object oriented programming, like you don't think that that would be kind of like used in order to assess a person's, I don't even know what the word
No.
is.
What I hate about it is that it takes away the ability to potentially like find a better way to do something, and or to have control over how you want to communicate a change. Like there are some valuable things that it can point out, like paths of like where your like an execution path where this will never be reached, like those kinds of things. Yeah, that's fine. um, but what I actually really hate is the style ones, like that. If it's a style thing you want to maintain,
Yeah, I don't like that either.
just don't tell me about it, just fix it for me. If you know what it is, just fix it.
I don't like that either. So I always have to go into the tools, options, editor, C sharp, and say, do not auto format this. I like my equal signs and my arrows all being aligned within a segment of code.
Yeah, yeah, but if
Like,
you get work with some organizations, like actually most of them will have like a style cop. I just hate that
I
metaphor,
haven't
like style
experienced that.
cop. I don't want a style cop. I want like a if you really want to enforce a particular style in the code, then make like a style helper
Are you talking about
that.
like in HTML or are you talking about in
No,
C
I'm talking
sharp?
in C sharp.
I haven't been in that
You
environment.
never had a style cop there
No,
tell you that there's a like throw 50 errors because you have a space at the end of your line, like a
no,
line.
no.
Oh
That's
God,
just
it's the
you.
worst.
That's just you.
No, it's the well, and no, I don't turn those on, but I've been around people who like rely on them or want them, and they're like, oh, but it trains you over time. It's like, no, if it can know that there's an empty space at the end of this line,
Yeah, I agree.
it should just remove it for me. There's no reason that it needs to yell at me until I fix it. I suppose it gives me the opportunity to disable it, like, and say, oh, put an exception here. But still, it's like, no, just if that's why I like prettier in JavaScript. I like prettier because it just formats it, and I don't have to think about it. But yeah,
So you ready to change the subject?
yeah.
I'm uh I'm considering. You gotta tell me if this is unreasonable.
Are you gonna are you gonna do a Mark Zuckerberg, and was he the one who was doing that on thanks? No, was it 4th of July? Rode one of those with an American flag.
Oh, I didn't even see it. I don't. I didn't get hip to look. I didn't get hip to this until like 2 days ago. I was at the beach and I just saw a dude like above the water, casually just zooming along at like 25 miles an hour, as if he looked like he was on a skateboard, and it looked so futuristic. He looked like he was on a hoverboard over water,
It's
and I
like
was
the Check the private message. So
Okay.
bring that up.
Like he looked like
Coast heaven, West Virginia.
That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And so I was looking at it and I was like, I don't know. I never saw it before. And the reason why, you know why I'm bringing it up, right?
No. Oh, for you're gonna fly a flag of your beach delivery on a.
Well, no, not fly a flag. Offer that as a rental.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. There you go.
The thing is like they're like $10,000-$12,000 a unit. I don't think I could rent out too many of them. I mean, I don't think I could acquire too many of them. And,
Well, even renting them,
and be profitable.
Yeah, even renting them would be pretty tough.
But yeah, so like
you should rent out Segways though. That'd be kind of fun.
That's dorky.
Dude, Segways are fun. I really want a Segway still.
Are they still the dorky ones where like you put on your helmet and you like you lean forward and it's like the Jetsons? It looks dorky.
I don't care, man. I did a Segway tour of Anchorage and it was like so much fun to. I think I almost fell off, or Carrie fell off once, or my wife. I don't know. Well, let's see, do they actually have?
I mean, here in like South Beach, we see a lot of these motorized like skateboards and stuff. No, yeah, I was thinking about like. So here's the thing. For I don't know what this is called. It's a lift e-foil. Okay, and so here's the thing. Let me try to do this e-foil. I don't know why they call it e-foil. Is e-foil or is foil an acronym? The thing is, I can buy this, and more than likely, I'll probably buy the most expensive one, which is like 12,000. So I could buy it, and then I just write it off in my taxes because it's legitimately like associated to the app that I'm building or the business that I'm building, right? And so, do I go to the store? No, the store is probably the literal locations, right? Or no, hold up. Yeah, so I'll probably get this 4 foot 9 inch one, and I will probably buy one, and it'll probably be my personal one. Like, look at that, man! Like, can you justify that? That is a motorcycle.
Yeah, it's something you buy after your app is super successful.
Yeah, but I mean, I would use it personally too, and then if someone requested to rent it, then I could rent it out to them. But this would be I live on the beach. Like, this would be my toy. The question is, I mean, to your point, like the question is, will it be a toy that I try out like 2-3 times and then I just hang it up and never use it again? Or is it something that like I'll pull up in a sandbar party like every other weekend, like, what's up? Right? Because I mean, there's sandbar parties like a mile away from me that jump. You know what a sandbar party is?
Yeah, we have sandbars and.
No, you haven't been to a sandbar party where I'm at by me.
So like the sandbar parties that are in like Minnesota, so like you go to a lake and everybody's pulled their pontoon up on the sandbar and like people are grilling and drinking and swimming and.
So this one, I don't know if this is the right video. That's not near me. Hold up, that is Miami. Where's the?
Are you ready? Yeah, let's go.
This one is relaxed. No, that's not what I was looking for.
I want you guys to say, hit it, DJ. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, this is essentially what we have, just on a smaller scale.
Okay. So, I'm trying to figure out if this is the one by me. Anyway, so like Hallover is like literally like 1 mile. I mean, I run there every morning. Um, and like so from like Thursday to Sunday, it's bigger than this. I don't know where this is. This is probably in Miami or Key Biscayne or something. Um, I don't know. Anyway, what do you think? You think I should just man up and buy one? Because I don't
I
think
don't
you
know,
could
man.
just rent it. I don't think you could rent it. I think like you have to like just commit to buying it, and then it just may sit in your basement or attic after like 1 or 2 uses.
Yeah, I mean,
But when I saw him on it, I was like, oh, like holy crap! It looked cool. It looked very like he was a 1%er when I saw that dude.
I
So
mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that'd be out of my price range, but maybe if you had a really good turn on Dogecoin or something. Uh,
actually, that reminds me.
Dude, you can't buy like the really super nerdy Segways anymore, apparently. Like you can still
Good.
get one with a bar up, but they're $1,000 still. Actually, that's not bad. I think they were like a lot more than that. But you can get those like ones that are like just the bottoms and there's like a little. You can buy scooters. You can buy these ones where they have like the I don't
The
know. They're
unicycles.
like they look like they're half of an old Segway. But dude, they have like well, this is kind of neat though. They have like go-karts. And what are these? Oh, they've got like e-skates. What the hell are these?
I see motorized unicycles. They fly on those. Dudes be going like 35 miles an hour down Collins.
Oh, this is weird. There's like they have like skates that are like these segways.
You sure, Link?
Yeah, hold on. They're called Segway Drift. 1 second.
Or I could just look it up. You said Segway Drift.
Yeah, if you just go to segway.com, and then in the consumer section, if you find the Drift W1,
Yo, they got a Segway 9 bot. What is that?
yeah, what is that?
It looks like a
9 bot
Power
one.
Wheels.
Oh, it's like a unicycle, standing unicycle.
I mean, if I could fit on it, I'll get it.
Yeah. What is this 9-bot mecha kit?
Maybe I should share my screen again.
You want to see the dirtiest thing is look at the 9-bot mecha kit.
Hold up, is this designed for kids or grown-ups?
I don't know.
Like I'm 6'7", man. That's the biggest issue. I mean, you got good ratings though. God damn, it got 5.5 or 4.5 ratings.
Oh, this is a game? The 9-bot electric. What the heck is this thing?
Yeah, I think I had to pull up a YouTube video on it. Oh, that's a drift kit. Hold up, I don't know what I'm doing.
9-bot go-kart pro. I don't know. That looks like an adult. But I don't know. Probably a short adult. Yeah, it looks pretty small.
Yeah, it looks like the only people that can use it are small Asian people. That's that. I can't use that.
See, I'd want the 9-bot S Max, the somewhat nerdy looking still
What's this
Segway.
right here? What's this? Roller skates. What's this?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah. Look at them things. Like you just stand on them. I have no idea how that would work. You just like lean forward and it goes. I'd assume that the batteries.
That looks interesting. Like I could get with that because it's small enough that hopefully you could just throw it inside of a backpack when your power runs out.
Yeah, I wonder if it would recognize when you're on it or not. Because That was one of the things with this when we did that Segway tour, is that if you're not careful and you fall off of it, those things will just keep going. Because they don't really have any way to know. At least at the time, they didn't know whether you were on them or not. So.
That's you, Sean.
Yeah, that's it. Look at. Do they actually attach to your feet, or are they just like freestanding?
It looks like they're freestanding.
Can you imagine being in the photo shoot for this? Guys, try to make this look cool.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, high five.
It reminds me of Microsoft's failed attempt at marketing the Surface Pro when they were showing like college students breakdancing or whatever. You remember that commercial?
Yeah.
I want to see like the practicality though.
How about this?
Step on it, go forward. Yeah, you just lean on it. I mean, this is the Segway, I don't know, experience.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't expect it to go fast, but I expect it to go faster than like jogging. How long does it last? Like, I mean, I'm interested in this, but I wear a size 16 shoe, so I don't know if I could, like, nothing in society is created for me. I can't go to a mall and think that I'm going to buy some clothes. I can't. Like, that's the only issue, man. I mean, there's a lot of issues with me, but.
So, okay, look at the Lumo personal robot. What would you actually use this for?
No, hold up. I'm still trying to figure out the Segway skates. How much? What's the battery life on here? It's 45
minutes.
So
you get about half an hour.
Hopefully, you can just carry some battery packs.
You just have to buy like
way too much,
and then you'll get an hour and a half.
Way too much. The max is 220 pounds.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, not made for. You need to come up with the industrial strength, 6 foot tall man Segway.
I need to come up with the Mandingo Warrior model. Where are you saying? Go to where?
The Lumo personal robot.
Luvo, Luvo,
Loomo, Lumo personal robot. It's right there on that Segway page you were just on too. It's right at the. Yeah. What would you ever use this for, other than taking selfies of you?
It's the smartest and most capable personal vehicle ever, with the best-in-class powerful Segway mobility and Intel RealSense TM technology. Did you already play the video?
I haven't. No. So you can ride it too, apparently. Or is it like an assistant then? Or like.
Okay, Lumo. Let's go.
What is this thing?
It's Wally, man.
Any ideas? I'll be right back.
Cheer up, humans.
Pizza, Chinese.
Sorry, I'm vegan.
This is the worst promo video I've ever seen. It's so ridiculous. Oh, you can use Scratch to program it.
Fancy a flyer?
Whoa.
So it maxes out 220 pounds.
You're welcome.
Okay, Lumo. Go.
Yes, sir.
So it just adds like a layer of intelligence on top of your Segway.
How much is it? Hold up. It's 2,300. Well, what's the weight limit?
220 pounds. They don't make this for anybody who weighs more than 200 pounds, apparently.
I think I get it.
Even their moped is a maximum of 220 pounds. That's
You think
like their
it's a
top
copy-
level.
You think it's a copy paste issue, or you think it's legitimately 220 for the motor?
It might be 220 for because I'm looking at the moped now that is on there, and it says payload, 165 to 220 pounds, but you only get 20 miles per hour on.
It looks like it's just they create like, except for the skates, it looks like they use the same motor and everything, and you can't exceed 220 pounds, or else you're going to stress the motor.
Maybe the professional ones, maybe those are different.
What professional ones? Like there's only one motor. Hold up, is there? You talking about there's like?
I could get behind this. Hold on a second. I gotta look at this. Oh, this is a concept one. The Segway S Pod. If you go to Segway's site, there's like a commercial. There's a professional one at the top, and if you click into there, it's a little. There's like a patrol. One's for cops, and at the very, very top of the page.
At the very top of the page.
Not under store, just like Segway.com, not store.segway.com.
Why is my shift arrow working? Hold up.
So if you go to the professional drop down up there, I can get behind that S Pod. That'd be kind of cool. Just sit in the chair and.
That's like, you know what movie that's off of?
It's
Or
like
what
X-Men.
comic? Yeah, Magneto.
Yeah. Or Professor X, yeah.
They had to get it from X-Men.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're like, well, the Segway person.
I don't know. It looks like it's designed for disabled people, though. No.
Yeah, maybe. I'd probably get. I don't know.
Yeah, look at him. He looks disabled.
Oh, 1 second.
Yeah, this is Professor Magneto. Watch it say 220 pounds.
It'll say 200. I don't think you can buy it though because it's a concept. And you know what they have it's the X2 SE. Is that the off-road one? The guy who invented Segway died on one. He fell off a cliff or something. Testing out an off-road model. Oh yeah, here it is. Rugged off-roading. Maybe this one has got. Oh, I see. You have to find a dealer for these ones. Oh, let me look at the specs. Let's see what the weight limit is. 100. Oh no, its weight is 120 pounds. What's its maximum load? It doesn't really say. It'll only go 12 miles though. That's lame.
I gotta go to the dealership after this, which is probably going to take half a day of me being up there for my motorcycle. All right, so wrapping up, I got I say the same status every Friday for the past 2 months. So Microsoft addressed the bug that I found yesterday, and right now, I'm just trying to get my service bus operational in regards to it being in a QA environment. And so I'll be working on that today, this weekend, so that I could get everything deployed and I don't have to have anything running locally on my laptop, so that I could field test this app. In addition to that, I feel like I'm missing something. In addition to that, yeah, I think that's it. I think I might go to a store and see if I could demo that e-foil thingy. And yeah, I think that's it. And I don't have anything else. Oh, how was your Ludum Dare?
Oh, it sucked.
You didn't get anything like built?
No, I had a plan and I tried and it just I got into it and I'm like, well, this isn't gonna work and I don't have time to, or I don't feel like I have the time to pivot to something. I don't know, man. I've been uninspired in a lot of these. Even going in, I'm like, I'm gonna be good in this one, and no. Oh, I might have to reevaluate
Your life.
that. Yeah.
I was looking at Twitch and like everybody and their mama, they all were like streaming their game development for Ludum Dare. I
Yep.
feel like
Yeah.
I'm saying it right, but
No, that's right. Well, sort of. It's
Ludum Dare.
yeah. There's a one of these things where half the people call it Ludum Dare and half the people call them Ludum Dare, which
Okay.
is the actual Latin pronunciation, I guess. Ludum Dare.
Well, I use the American version
Yeah.
of pronunciation.
Yeah, they added back in like the category because it used to be under something else, but now it's back under game development, software development category or something.
In regards to other progress, I could consistently do like 3 miles, but that's 4 miles. I've only done that like I think twice, and half the time I'm risking injury. So
I did my 10K though on Saturday morning. I did
Yeah?
that I beat my last time by 11 seconds. I would have been better too, but I had to stop for traffic twice. But I actually finished like the end of the pack because it was only like 30 10K runners.
how do you have to stop for traffic on a sanctioned race?
There's just intersections that it's like, well, if there's cars coming here, they've got to get through, and there's a stoplight at one of them.
Y'all
It's
didn't
not
have
like
cops?
No, this was a small event. It's not a full marathon type thing like tomorrow's going to be. So 10K was the top event. There was a 5K and some 1Ks and stuff like that but I did it in under an hour. So that was like, I got to the finish line. I saw the clock counting down and it was like 59:40, and so I just like sprinted the last bit to try to make under an hour. So pretty good. It was raining too, which was different.
Hopefully that boosted your confidence because now you can use that as a war story. That you ran a 10K in the rain, right?
And then I
what's
did
that
get
dude's name? What's that dude's name? Stay hard, like yeah.
And I did sign up for that marathon next year then. So my end game. So
you should use the Segway skates in the marathon.
Yeah, just dashing on the side of the thing. Here's like I get there and I'm like 10 minutes ahead of the next Kenyan.
Well, just use it as backup. So when you start seeing people, when you see people start tapping out like the last 2 miles, like just put on the skates and just coast by them as they're like trying to catch their breath.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Wow, you finished really fast for a kind of a chubby little white guy.
Have people ever tried to rollerblade in the marathon?
That 10K I did a couple weeks. That was a ultra inline marathon. Like,
what does inline mean?
Like rollerblades, man. That's inline skates.
Okay.
That was all that. That might be easier on your knees if you got into rollerblading.
I want to see someone rollerblade in the Boston Marathon and beat the Africans.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
All right.
All right. See ya. I'm out.
Yep.
Gambler. See you too. Peace.
See ya.
All right. Bye.